first and foremost, that's the biggest name that's still going to be left at 147 pounds, right? Is Boots. You know what I mean?
And we're gonna
Um,
stay away from him, right?
Mill City, I didn't come on here for you to talk for me. I do the talk.
I was,
If Jerron is around and he's at 147 and Devin is at 147, then we would definitely wouldn't deny to giving him an opportunity.
We see in the near future or within the next 2 years a potential match between Jerron Boots Ennis if he stays at welterweight and potentially Devin Haney.
Oh, absolutely. If Jerron is around and he's at 147 and Devin is at 147, then we would definitely wouldn't deny to giving him an opportunity.
Hans Timmer still here with Sean, little brother of Devin Haney. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, getting ready to see these fights, see what's going on, doing some scouting.
I gotta ask, man, we've seen you in the ring lately with your brother, with your father. How's everything been going with your training so far, man?
Everything's been good, just sharpening the tools, prepping. I'm gonna have a fight in August with my amateur debut, so we're gonna see how that goes. Hopefully, stop him. Whatever comes, comes. I'm gonna be next in the sport.
Do you have a certain amount of fights or a certain amount of years you want to be an amateur before you take to that next level, or do you just want to take your time?
Take my time, of course. Talk to my dad. Talk to my team. See, what they want me to do. But if ideally, I would like to stay in amateurs 4 years, 5 years. Get to 19 and go pro.
Gotta ask you about Devin, obviously. From a non-biased opinion, what were your thoughts on his performance against Jose Ramirez? What were your thoughts on it?
He did what he had to do. Won the fight. They're gonna hate him. At the end of the day, you can knock him out. They're gonna say the guy was trash, or you can win. You could win by boxing. They're gonna say you were running. So we got the win, and that's all we were hoping for.
Ideally, who would you want to see him fight next? Is it T.O.? Is it
ideally, I would like to see him fight T.O. T.O. has been a big fight in the making. They fought in the amateurs, and we've been calling him out for 4 years. So.
Is T.O. the toughest opponent for Devin, you think? Who do you think will be the one guy where you're just like, okay, that's a really tough fight right there? Do you think it's Devin?
I don't think it's T.O.
Shakur maybe?
I think it would be
Tank? Jerron?
Maybe Boots. I feel like it would be his hardest fight. They're both long, they're both slick, but I still feel like my brother comes out with that. Boots gets hit too much. He tries to show off too much.
Do you think the criticism of your brother is fair from the standpoint of now they quote-unquote think that he was just running a little bit too much or moving too much?
I don't feel like the criticism is, we love the hate, so it really doesn't affect us. Do anything for the win. But I don't really feel like it was running.
So what would you call it?
We were the A side, of course, so you have to bring the fight to us.
So if it wasn't running to you, is that what you just would call smart boxing pretty much?
Yes. We've seen many people do it. We've seen Floyd do it. We've seen Roy Jones do it. I feel like it's smart boxing. They just really hate when my brother does it.
What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy KB, back to get boxing is just due. And make sure y'all give me my just due. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, man, and turn them notifications on so you can be notified when I drop more content. And right off the bat, man, big shout out to my guy YSM for the video. We gonna get right into it, man. Y'all seen Sean Haney, the brother of Devin Haney, do an interview, with the correspondent of YSM, and he was asked about what would possibly be the toughest fight for Devin Haney, and Sean Haney took his while, and the interviewer gave him a few different names, and as expected, Jerron Boots and his name came up, and he mentioned that he think Boots would be a tough fight. That would be a tough fight for his brother, but it feels like Devin would win it. And the reasons he stated for it wasn't surprising because it's a lot of misinformation out there about Boots. And, Sean Haney went on to say that he feels like Boots shows off too much. He shows off way too much, and he gets hit way too much. And he feels like his brother would win. And it's to be expected, man. There's no hate, no slight, no shade. You're supposed to rock with the home team. Ride with your brother, man. You're supposed to feel that way. I mean, you grew up watching your brother all your life. You know, you watched his entire career. You watch how successful he's become. So, you know, I would root for my brother too. But to be honest, man, people keep saying Jaron Boots Ennis get hit too much. I've never heard that about any fighter, and you barely see them lose rounds, especially with any consistency. Outside of Karen, show me another fight where you can consistently point to Jaron Boots Ennis losing rounds. This kid is something special. He different. He don't get hit too much. As a matter of fact, when he doesn't want to get hit, he don't. And I know Bill Haney was on record for saying that about Devin Haney. We don't get hit if we don't want to. And I get it. No slight, no shade. But Jaron Boots Ennis is special. He different. What Sean Haney calls showing off is just Boots simply being himself, man, and being comfortable and having fun in there. He always tell the interviewers when asked, what could we expect? He always say, you know, he gonna put on a show. He gonna go out there and have fun. And he's one of the fighters that really go out there and have fun. And I gave him a nickname over here at Just Do Boxing. I call him And One Mixtape Boots. He gets in the ring and he absolutely does stuff in a boxing ring that you feel like you would see somebody doing a basketball court. That's how, you know, dominating and impressive he is when he's in his bag to me. And he continues to be that way. If you look at his last fight, he didn't get hit too much. You know, look at his face when he comes out of fights, man. He comes out just as clean as he went in. You get what I'm saying? Jaron Ennis is one of the most athletically gifted fighters that we got in today's boxing, man. And to be quite honest, brutally honest, to be blunt, Jaron Boots Ennis versus Devin Haney would be a bad matchup for Devin Haney. Respect to him and everything he did on the Fatal Fury card May 2nd against Jose Ramirez, but make no mistake about it, Jaron Boots Ennis is no Jose Ramirez at all. Nothing close to it. Far much younger, fresher, faster, stronger, bigger, far more dominant, and just a bad style matchup for Devin Haney. Respectfully, you know, he did go out there and get the win against Jose Ramirez, but that's not the best Devin Haney. And to be quite honest, for him to even be able to compete in any manner with Jaron Boots Ennis, he would have to be the very best version of Devin Haney. And even that, I just don't see him coming out on top with this fight. But that's my thoughts. You know, maybe the people think differently. Maybe there's, you know, Devin Haney fans feel differently. But that's just not the fight for him to make. I want to see Devin Haney continue to climb, get closer back to where he once was. And just beating Jose Ramirez and to jump to a guy as talented as Jaron Boots Ennis would be all wrong, in my opinion. You know, good thing for Bill Haney, as he stated in the clip, if Jaron Ennis is still champion when we move up to 147, they'll give him an opportunity, which sounds pretty funny because if Boots would have stayed there, and why I'm saying would have stayed there, because we got word that he'll be vacating his titles and moving up to 54. Now, he hasn't done that yet, so it remains to be seen what will happen in the, you know, the next couple of weeks or months or whatever have you. But I wouldn't be surprised if Boots does exactly what Eddie Hearn says, vacates the title and moves to 54. But if he didn't do that, and if he was still a unified champion at 147, just to be quite honest with y'all, I don't see Bill Haney pursuing a Jaron Ennis fight. It just doesn't make sense, man. That'd be a really dangerous fight. I would respect it if they took it, but I'm pretty sure, you know, Devin Haney has other plans. I like the Teofimo fight, even though Teo walked away from it, man. There's still something there. Maybe they could strike a deal and come to some type of agreement and make the fight happen in the future. But in the meantime, I think Devin Haney just continue to focus, build your name, your brand, keep working out those kinks, keep shaking off the cobwebs, man. Come back, make a good fight. Seems like Teal don't want to fight you, so on to the next one. I hope he finds a good opponent for his next fight. But again, like I said, Jaron Boots Ennis would be totally wrong. We all seen what he just did back in April against Stan Jonas, who was an undefeated world champion. He beat the fight out of him, had him quitting on the stool. So that's just not a fight that you need if you're a fighter that's still shaking back, that's still, you know, getting his legs up under him and moving into a new division. You get what I'm saying? You continue to build. You solidify yourself at 47, then you go after the absolute dangerous fighters. I think that's the ideal approach to world championships at 147 pounds if you are Devin Haney. But that's my thoughts, man. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think, man. Do Devin Haney has any shot in the world at beating Boots Ennis if this fight ever happened? Or is Sean Haney just being a good little brother and capping for his big bro? And as always, let me know if I gave boxing its just due, because that's what I do over here at Just Do Boxing. Till the next one, I'm out. Peace.